Hello, YouTube. Good evening. How y'all doing? Just kind of wanted to take time to just try to make a quick video about my experience with manifestation and just my experience with this book called The Secret. It's a very popular book about trying to manifest one's will. And so I kind of want to give a little just personal testimony as far as like what my experience was with The Secret. So, I grew up in church and stuff, and so pretty much I got to a place where I was curious about trying to find alternate ways to try to make my will manifest. Hence why I started looking at The Secret. What made me a believer in The Secret was I was listening to one of their episodes about how basically the universe is kind of like a genie. So for me, being a big fan of Aladdin, just growing up as a kid, in my head, a genie seemed like it was a good thing. Just the blue character in Aladdin, like he's there to help you. And so when they were basically trying to sell me on the idea of whether this secret was real or not, or if it was healthy, I decided to like kind of look into it more and to maybe try it a little bit. Um, Forgive me for having my shirt off. I promise I'm not trying to be like sexy or anything. It's just there's a story to this that I'm gonna get to in a moment. But yeah, Aladdin attracted me. I just grew up a big fan of it, and when I looked at the universe as a way to help me and maybe make some wishes that was working on my behalf, I just became a big fan of The Secret. And so, um, how many of y'all remember Aladdin? You remember when Jafar basically was, power drunk and, it seemed like he was never satisfied. And I think that's kind of what I want to get into as far as like what my experience was. I think when people start off with trying to manifest things, it starts off simple, like trying to attract your crush or get good luck or get more money or something to that effect. But what I've been learning in my personal life is that, this genie or the universe isn't just a genie, it's something else. And that's what I want to talk about today. So going back to Jafar, remember how he wanted to be a sultan and then he wanted to be a sorcerer. And then basically he wanted to be a genie himself. Um, Me personally, I remember when he got to the point where he wanted to be a genie, he literally got like trapped into something. It's almost like he got himself into something he wasn't aware of. And so um, when I was thinking about that, it kind of made me think about my own personal situation. There's a lot of things that I wish I could undo that I got myself into, but we all make mistakes. But I wanted to get into this genie character because, again, that's what kind of sold me as far as being a believer into the secret, as far as their teachings and it being like a genie. Well, so I remember telling you all in one of my videos that basically um, one of the things that got me into trouble was I had attracted demons into my life. And so I was fasting for 70 days, and I kind of mentioned that in my other videos. Well, also during that 70 days, I came across um, just this character because I had like a clicking thing with my tongue and this like side of my cheek. It was like I didn't really know where that was coming from, but it didn't feel like it was me. And so I kind of like just started doing some research into it. And this led me to a deity called, I believe his name is Payman or Pyman. Um, Basically, he's um, considered to be a genie. And as I was fasting, I realized that this was just another deity that I had basically made a wish to that wasn't good. Um, Basically, Payman is a demon from the Lesser Keys of Solomon. Now, me personally, I used to fall asleep to, different stories and documentaries. One story I used to fall asleep to was Aladdin, just because I like the story of going from rags to riches. So I was trying to manifest that in my life. But you got to be careful about falling asleep to things because that's just it. You're not conscious, like, while you're asleep, or at least conscious with intent. So there was no telling what I was, like really like pouring into my soul, like through my ears, like while I was asleep. But I do know that Solomon fell out of favor with God in terms of going after certain things that weren't of God, and that's what I had done unawarely when I was getting involved with the secret and manifestation stage of my life. Basically, uh, Haman, he's the prince of hell, and he's obedient to Satan and has several legions under his command. He is known for being a fallen cherub and a genie who rides a camel. So when I first heard that, I realized, like, I was like, man, like, Bear, like, what have you done? Like, you just keep getting yourself into stuff. Well, I'm gonna make a part two uh, to a couple of things, but in this video, I kind of want to talk about um, basically dream boards and manifestation through that. Um, there was a dream board that I made that had the character Caesar from Planet of the Apes, and I wanted to, just manifest certain things in my life. If anybody remembers that movie, he's basically a leader in his community. So in my mind, I was just trying to manifest the characteristics of a leader and have confidence in myself is why I was doing it. So literally, I made this dream board that just had a bunch of stuff on it that probably wasn't of God, but because I was just trying to believe in something, I made this dream board that had Caesar's face on in the middle of it, and I literally focused on that. I put it in a place in my room where I could, it was the first thing I saw when I woke up, and it was the last thing I saw before I went to bed, and just really serious about it. And so I focused on that thing for 2 years. And the reason why I got my shirt off is because anybody that's followed the Planet of the Apes series, you know that Caesar has a birthmark on his chest. So I can't remember exactly what date or time, but I just remember when I was focusing on this dream board, this scar on my chest, which is in the same location that Caesar had, like a little mark or whatnot. This isn't an injury. It's not like a cut or anything or a burn. It literally just showed up one night, or I guess when I woke up one day, and I had no idea how it got there. I didn't remember getting scratched or anything, and it just stayed there. Well, the thing about when I think about the demon payment is that you're not just making a wish to this deity. It's like a contract, like as if you're signing your soul to the devil himself. He'll give you what you want, but like scripture says, what is the point of gaining the whole world if you lose your soul? So for me, I was making agreements with deities that I should not have been making with, and I wish I had known about this sooner. I just was blind and didn't want to see the truth, because the reality is, I mean, my manifestations were coming true. I was getting everything that I wanted at that time, only until it was time for me to pay the price. So that's why I had my shirt off. I wanted y'all to see that mark. To basically, I made a covenant with something that I should not have made, and this thing had marked me, and I believe it was payment because of the wishes that I had made through my dream boards and whatnot. Um, Caesar is a very interesting character to me personally. If anybody's followed the more recent first series, where it's like the prequel to Planet of the Apes, where you kind of see what Caesar is before he becomes Caesar. He's almost childlike, kind of goofy, silly, just a child pretty much. Um, and he's in a situation where he doesn't really fit in, doesn't really know his identity, and then some unfortunate things happen that place him in an environment where he starts to make a transformation from kind of being silly or not taken serious to a more authoritative figure and actually a leader in his community. So me personally, I related to that. There were some things that happened in my life, and I was just questioning like who I am because people just weren't taking me seriously, or making fun of me or whatever they were doing. And so me personally, I go by Barrett, but my full name is Barrett Trent Ridley the second. Anybody that knows me from here knows that I used to go by Trent, and in some case, Little Trent. Well, to me, Little Trent never got respected. Little Trent got bullied for many different reasons, and I got tired of being Little Trent. Um, During the season when I first uh, started working at my current job, I remember just writing out the application and deciding to go by Barrett. Even though that was my name, I didn't go by Barrett. I always went by Trent, but this time I decided to go by Barrett. People make fun of me now because they're like, "What? Why is it some people know you in Trent and certain parts of Tennessee, and other people know you as Barrett?" It's the same name. Just I wanted to disappear and become something new, so I went with my first name, Barrett. For me, it sounded more authoritative. And to be quite frank, I literally got more just respect by going by that name. Just people just seemed to respect me more. I didn't know why. Um, I have a hunch why, but in terms of my personal life, I just like the fact that I wasn't really being messed with once I started going by that name. And during those 2 years, I literally felt myself changing. To me, I thought it was like a sense of confidence, but it was a false confidence. It was a spirit like manifesting in me that matched the character of Caesar of the Planet of the Apes. Um, this Mark, and I've been in a situation where I saw my chest just open up, just wide, like I saw myself in the mirror. So something I'll talk about that story another time, but it wouldn't surprise me that during those years when I was trying to, concentrate on my dream board that I made, it would surprise me if a deity like came into me at some point in the night while I was asleep and literally marked me. And so that's kind of like my story on that in terms of um, just like why I decided to do it that way. It led to a lot of troubles and a lot of unnecessary drama. But for me, there's a lot of danger seen and unseen. And for me, this was a danger that was unseen because it seemed so innocent. Like I literally thought I was finding a secret that would change my life, and it did. But it just cost me in the end. It cost me a lot of just unnecessary drama and heartache. Um, Again, I will be very careful about what you focus on in terms of when you're trying to figure out who you are. Me personally, I had to read scriptures and remind myself that God knew me before He created the foundations of the earth, and that He basically had a purpose for me. Um, I think the dangers of this, dream boards is basically you're focusing potentially on somebody else's life. Um, Again, for me, I had to realize that God had a plan for me, not Caesar's plan, but the plan that He had for my life. And so I think that was the danger. I was trying to become something that He did not create me to be. And so I had to like unlearn those habits and um, relearn God's voice for myself. Um, Shout out to Mark Verkler. He's the author of a book called The Four Keys to Hearing God's Voice. He's helped me out a lot in terms of understanding the difference between the thoughts in my head, the thoughts of maybe demons or Satan himself talking to you, and then hearing God's voice. And I thought it was a very powerful teaching. I would recommend that for anybody trying to, um, I guess, learn God's voice for yourself, because guys, there is a big difference between personal relationship and then just knowing scripture and being religious. Like if you're trying to follow Jesus or Yahusha in that way, um, I think it's very important in these days to really learn His voice for yourself. Yes, we have preachers, and yes, we have the Bible, but what you don't want to do is become like a Pharisee and just have a bunch of head knowledge on the word like you want that word to sink down into your heart. That way you understand God's voice whenever he is speaking to you, because his voice is always going to match his word pretty much. And so that's a little bit about um, like my testimony in terms of, why I decided to pay attention to The Secret. Again, for me, it was the idea that a genie had my best interests at heart and that the universe was working for me. Only later to find out that there's a demon named Payman who is also a genie, and it sounds like he's not your friend. So, just some things to think about. I'm not here to make anybody do anything. I'm just telling you what happened in my personal life. Hopefully, this helps out. Clear up some confusion for those that are trying to figure out, who they are, or what they want to be. And I just wish you all the best in terms of just keeping, um, your faith in y'all. Um, so that's all for now. This is the part one to my dream board. I'm gonna make a part two because I basically made two dream boards. I was just talking about this one because it related to Caesar, but the second one I think is just as important. It's just a different story. So I'm gonna cut this short and then make a part two. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Leave comments, subscribe if you enjoy this content so far. Um, my YouTube isn't big enough to where it's monetized yet. I am a server, and I work and I love what I do. If you want to go to my um, Instagram, it's uncle_Barrett, and that's where my Cash App is, and also where you can get information as far as like when I'm promoting certain things, either on my YouTube channel or whenever I'm putting out my future books on ebooks. So just keep out for that. If you like this comment, I enjoy any type of feedback or support. I hope this helps you all. And like I said, keep your eyes on y'all if that's what you choose. And um, I just hope you all have a great day and stay blessed. Bye.